This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, I'm Megan Shepard. It's great to have you with us. Topping news, investigations are continuing into yesterday's fatal plane crash in waters off Queens Cove. The small aircraft went down in waters just west of the airport, killing the pilot and 3 passengers on board. The names of the victims have not yet been released. Tonight we hear how Basra played a major role in the recovery. The single-engine Cirrus SR-22 is registered in Indiana to first-class flyers. According to reports, the pilot radioed that he was having some engine problems and crashed minutes after takeoff from the Grand Bahama International Airport. Basra was notified of the crash shortly after 11 Sunday morning. Justin Snisky says they were able to assemble a rescue team, including police officers, and headed to the site.
We also deployed a small personal watercraft from the Queens Cove area. As I said, it was about 4 miles out of Queens Cove, which would have been our fastest response. We decided, because of the location, this would have been a perfect staging ground here. EMS was notified. Once our personnel was on scene, it was evident that there were no survivors at the time. Then it went from a rescue effort into a recovery effort. Again, on scene we had approximately 3 boats along with the personal watercraft. And the boats consisted of Basra personnel, Marine personnel, and Royal Bahamas Police Force.
Siniski says 3 vessels were deployed at the scene of the crash and 1 personal watercraft that was instrumental in communication between officials on land and those at the scene. Now, reports say the 4 persons on board, all Americans, were going on an aerial sightseeing tour of the island. The plane's wreckage and the bodies of the 4 Americans were found in waters 4.5 miles west of the airport.
We set the staging area where we were going to bring them in. We did get out there, we were on scene. We choreographed everything with everybody, let them know the best way to get on scene and how we were going to best correspond with them. The scene itself, don't want to get into too much information on it as it is in the early stages of investigation, but it's unfortunate, the plane was broken up at the time.
According to the Indianapolis Star, the pilot held a valid private pilot license for a single-engine aircraft, and Federal Aviation Administration records show that the aircraft was inspected and declared airworthy back in November of 2004. The Star states the first-class flyers obtained a commercial license back in 2007, and that license is set to expire in January of 2016. Meantime, investigators from the Civil Aviation Department's Air Accident Investigation and Prevention Unit are expected to conduct an on-site field investigation into Sunday's fatal crash. Now, Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darbo, watched as the bodies of the victims were brought to shore in Queens Cove yesterday. He had words of commendation for all those involved in the recovery effort, including Basra.
We are very concerned about things like this, and I'm certain with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, authority at the airport, the Ministry of Transport and Aviation, as well as our partners in the United States, a full investigation will be conducted, and the outcome, I'm certain, will be public. It's difficult to determine exactly what happened out there, but from some of the representatives from Basra, there was a massive impact, and as a result, tragedy for the pilot as well as the passengers on board the aircraft.
Police in Abaco are searching for a man who they want to question in connection with a robbery in the North Abaco district. The incident reportedly occurred shortly after 8 last evening. Reports are that a woman, while at a residence in Cooperstown, was attacked from behind by an unknown male dressed in all dark clothing. The male then robbed her of over $3,000 in cash and fled on foot. Police are urging anyone with information that can assist the police with this investigation to come forward by contacting 367-3437 or 367-2560 in Abaco, or officers in Grand Bahama at 350-3107 or 8, 919-911, or call your nearest police station. Police on Grand Bahama are seeking the public's assistance in identifying this individual. Police say he is wanted for questioning for armed robbery charges and is considered armed and extremely dangerous and should be approached with extreme caution. Anyone with information on the identity or whereabouts of this individual can contact police at 350-3089 or 350-310-911 or the nearest police station. The island of Grand Bahama went global today as for the first time in 20 years, a NASA-based conference made its debut on Grand Bahama. The conclave promoting a message of superior leadership while showing the world why it's better in the Bahamas. Government and international officials all convened at the Grand Lucaya Resort to be a part of the historic event. Joan Davis-Frohl reports.
The historic occasion putting Grand Bahama on the world stage as the event punctuated with pomp and circumstance and sprinkled with both inspirational moments of Bahamian culture united hundreds of delegates. Delegates, some of whom have traveled thousands of miles to tap into a realm of unlimited potential, spiritual preservation, and visionary leadership. It is billed as a conference like no other, as local and international participants were joined by millions of viewers from around the world through translations in various languages for the 20th Annual Global Leadership Summit. Guest speaker for the occasion was Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson, who was joined by a parliamentary colleague, Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Davo, and welcoming the august body to our shores.
50-plus countries, a quarter of the nations in the world, here because of our man, Miles Monroe. Amazing. And right here to Freeport, the northern city of the greatest archipelago in the world, and a country that I call the Israel of the Americas for this 2013 Global Leadership Conference under the theme, Character, the Moral Force of Leadership. I want to congratulate you again, Dr. Monroe, for your vision and leadership in forming this alliance of civil and religious world leaders to promote the tenets of principled leadership and morality in all aspects of life throughout this region and throughout the world.
Through your hard work, this leadership conference have attracted hundreds of international and local delegates from some 50 countries to our shores and have injected hundreds of thousands of dollars into our local economy. This is certainly good news that will set the standard for all of us as we continue to develop our religious tourism product here on the island of Grand Bahama.
Speaking on behalf of the Prime Minister was the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obi Wolshcom, while conference host Dr. Miles Monroe says they have come to Grand Bahama with a divinely inspired mission, train leaders to impact the world.
Today, you may not believe it, but I know it. You are, in fact, setting a pace that will cause this island of Grand Bahama to take off and to soar once again.
I hope that out of this conference, there will emerge a moral force that is so strong that you will go and infect your community and embarrass those who compromise and say to the world, there are some leaders whose souls are not for sale.
Officials hope that this conference will not only help to revive Grand Bahama's ailing economy, but also to produce leaders that will be considered world-class. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis-Frohl.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition continues after this.